So, according to Google, the world's earliest surviving motion picture film showing actual consecutive action is called Roundhay Garden Scene. It's a short film directed by French inventor Louise Leprince. While it's just 2.11 seconds long, it is technically a movie. Like the very first short film that was ever made, our film would be classified as quite experimental / black comedy just because of the narrative, and there isn't really a narrative in the film, not exactly. Our film also talks about one specific topic and in just a lot of detail to give a message, which is a typical convention of a short film. While typical conventions are discussed, we actually challenge the forms and conventions of a short film. For example, we did this by only having one main character and only focusing on one character, basically. Although she was the main character, she did not have any diegetic speech at all that is heard in the film. And actually there is only one diegetic speech made in the film, which is, its purpose is to just quote something and to better complement the voiceover of the main character. She didn't have diegetic speech, but she did have a lot of screen time, and she was the one by doing this, it made her social anxiety more prominent. It stands out more. It focuses less on her surroundings, but the audience focuses less on her surroundings but more on her personality, her mental state of mind, or her mental illness. But her surroundings does complement her state of mind, because Brick Lane is such a colourful, artistic place that those colours on the walls and on the furniture and everything the clothing of the people can clash with each other, and it kind of gets all chaotic. Like herself, her mind, her social anxiety, it represents of how it's a good representation. Her surroundings is a good representation of what she's currently feeling at the moment. At the same time, doing a full voiceover was really effective because it was showing that she was just thinking to herself. She wasn't really in this world. She had her own little world in her head, and she was talking to herself in her head. She had all these thoughts flowing to her head, and it's as if she was too anxious to say anything in the diegetic world. Black comedies also rarely involve mental health. Some exceptions are Edge of 17 and it's kind of a funny story. And they're both feature-length films, so they have a proper narrative in them. Because they have a budget, they had more time to explore and develop more characters. They had more time to do it, so had a proper narrative. Although we had a clear structure of, in the film we had a clear structure of beginning, middle and end, we didn't explore the character in greater depth. It was more of just her thoughts at the moment. For the poster for a short film, it is very effective because the composition is very effective because the composition of the color scheme and mixture of different styles, art styles, the realistic picture and the background being in block color. And for the film review, the image matches the short film as well, just because it was taken in the streets in a random alleyway in Brick Lane with graffiti in the background, which is the setting of the film. One thing I learned from the experience of making this short film is that learning that eliminating bad camera footage is better than refilming, just because of time. The backing track volume control is also very important because although the backing track sets the mood, the voiceover needs to be the focus and heard clearly. And should be heard clearly as it is. I learnt from my audience that my film is quite experimental, as they commented on it. I explored a lot of editing techniques which helped me complete the poster of the film. Quite a bit of Photoshop was also involved to construct a storyboard, and including a graphic tablet. When drawing the storyboard, I also used Adobe Premiere Pro along with Wondershare Filmora, as Adobe Premiere Pro expired. The trial expired, and however Adobe Premiere Pro allowed me to play with speed, brightness, color grading, and it allowed me to edit a certain part of the film into a VHS effect. It also allowed me to discover how to color grade and to make a video look more cinematic, but I realized that sometimes it is better not to overdo the color grading, and depending on the mood of the film.